Okay, yeah, you could almost divide it into several phases, such as how to get along with people or education, what have you. I think one of the most important things is developing a technique or a persona to get along with people, because if you can get along with people and establish a good relationship, that'll stand you well through the years, so to speak, on it. Because I've found that if you treat people courteously and fairly on it, they'll reciprocate, and what you give out will come back to you on it. And you'll be making good friends and good contacts. But to treat people honestly and fairly, I think, is the main thing. And friendly. You know, a smile doesn't hurt anything. And I think that's a main factor that I've observed, was that to make an effort to get along with people, and that'll come back to you in a dividend of some form. Education, well, I can't stress education enough. When I got out of high school, and it was most of the kids I went to high school with, college was not even a consideration. They're going to get a job in a factory, or in my case, I was on a farm type thing, and college was completely that wasn't even a factor in your growing up on it. Now, it's so important to be educated and have a broad type education. Don't be too specialized, because the public is growing in their knowledge of many things, and so the more you have in your sort of think tank, so to speak, the better off you'll be on it. But and also the same thing applies a lot in going to school. If in your dealings with the other students, if be fair, be courteous, be friendly, and this type of thing, and it'll come back to you normally. And so that's the biggest thing I have out of life, is to treat people fairly and honestly and in a friendly manner, and that'll stand you well as you get older type thing. So any other subjects you'd like me to expound on? But education by far is really so important nowadays. Because, unfortunately, it's getting to the point now where even just a bachelor's degree out of a good school is really not much more beneficial than high school education was when I went through high school. Because we had so many kids that didn't go to high school, or would drop out, to support the family or help with the family on it. So that a high school education was something that was pretty good to attain too. And going further into a bachelor's level of education was really an impressive step up. Now you almost have to have a bachelor's degree to even get a toe in the door, type thing. And so you've got to really look more beyond a bachelor's level of education into some type of advanced degrees. So that's...
Any advice you have on jobs, or just any other life lessons that you've learned along the way?
Yeah, that's a very interesting subject on the jobs, because a lot of people went through education and growing process, and their first thing was, how am I going to survive when I got to get out? I got to get a job. So a lot of them started looking around for a job in which they can earn a paycheck that will take care of their needs. And a lot of times they suppress what they really want to do, what's really interest to them on a type thing. And that's kind of suppressed, because you do have to earn a living and pay your bills and that kind of thing. And so that I think you've got to sort of measure it in two ways, to try to find something that you really like that'll also provide you a livelihood type thing. And that's a lot easier said than done, because I think that the area that you are thinking about, that's a really interesting area. I don't know how broad an area it is, what you've got to do to really be successful in it, but I sure encourage you to give it a go, because I think you have the smarts to do it on it. And if you're really good at it, then the livelihood part of it will automatically feed into it, and you'll automatically have a livelihood, a paycheck on it. But I think it's important to really keep focus what you really want to do on it. sometimes a real wish is delayed further down life's line before you can really do it. But I read quite frequently a paper about somebody in their 40s or even 50s suddenly say, wow, they did this all their lives, but I really wanted to do this, and now I'm going to do it. So I certainly encourage that. You keep it in the back of your head as a goal if you can't quite do what you really want to do. So that's what that's worth.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well, you're very welcome, Hans.